out in front of you to come into downward facing dog. I like downward facing dog as a transition after camel pose instead of the child's pose, which is a little bit too much flexion after that much extension of the spine. So take a deep breath here, and then prepare to come into a reclined position, either jump or step into a seated position. Once you're in a seated position, go ahead and lay all the way down onto your back. And start off with your knees bent, with your feet on the floor, and bring the heels of your feet all the way up to your sits bones. Reach your hands down toward your heels. Take a deep breath in here and a long breath out. Really let your pelvis start to settle for a moment. Good. So again, we're going to show 3 versions of this posture. One with a block at the pelvis, with a more supported bridge posture, and one where the shoulders are rolling underneath the body, hands clasped together, and the final one with the hands on the edges of the mat. So as you inhale, start to lift your pelvis up toward the ceiling. Now for the posture where you're supported, slide the block. We want to have the block at the base of the pelvis, this top edge of where the sacrum is, so that we're supporting the pelvis rather than the lumbar spine. Does that feel okay? You're welcome. And then the pelvis can rest here so that Caitlin doesn't have to do any work. Deborah is holding on to the edges of her mat, and she's stretching her fingers downward toward her feet. This is a really great posture. Go ahead and keep holding on to the edges of your mat. This is a great modification if your shoulders are really tight. And then Melissa is holding on to her fingers underneath her back. Everybody's going to breathe here, and as you exhale, try to lift just a little bit higher. Lift from the outer edges of your hips. We're starting to warm the spine even more, all the way into the upper back. Take one more breath in, and as you exhale, then release your fingers or release your block and come all the way back down to the floor. Setu Bandhasana, the bridge pose, building of the bridge pose. This is a great posture then to stay in, potentially if upward facing wheel, the Urdhva Dhanurasana, is not the right posture for you. So now we're going to move into 2 Urdhva Dhanurasana wheel postures or 2 more bridge postures, depending on what's best for you. So Caitlin's going to stay in that restorative version, or she might take a bridge posture, and then we might move into the wheel over here, and I'm going to show the assist for the wheel all the way over here with Deborah. So Deborah's going to hold on to my ankles. She's going to clasp a hold of the bottom part of my shin here. Elbows face straight up and down. Melissa has her hands on the mat on either side of her ears. As she inhales, these two that are coming into wheel, they're going to inhale and come to the crown of their head, just lightly lifting their back off the mat, and then start to straighten their arms and begin to press their heart way back toward the back edge of the mat. Beautiful. So now inhaling, we're lifting through the low belly. Maybe you rise up onto the balls of your feet so the heels come off of the floor. That might give you a little bit more space in your psoas. Stay for another breath in, and then exhale. Bring your chin to your chest and come all the way back down. Beautiful. In this posture, we're moving the heart backward through the arms so that as we start to lift, rather than pushing forward, we want to make sure that the chest and the heart are moving through the hands into the postures. Take one more breath in. Exhale, prepare for one last back bend, either bridge pose or wheel pose. Upward facing wheel again. Bring your hands to the mat on either side of your ears for the upward facing wheel. Inhale to the crown of your head. Exhale, straighten your arms. Move your heart backward toward the back edge of your mat. Engage the outer edges of your hips, or stay as Deborah is in the bridge posture. Caitlin in bridge posture. Inhale, Melissa's going to keep lifting through her low belly. Feel as if she's trying to draw her hands away from each other and her heels of her feet away from each other to engage her outer hips. The whole entire spine is getting a really big opening, a really big back bend. Good, chin to the chest if you're in wheel, and come all the way back down, or unclasp your fingers and lower all the way back down. Pause for a breath here. Inhale, let your nervous system observe the benefits, observe the effects for a breath. Let the nervous system neutralize, and then draw your thighs into your belly for Apanasana. Really hug your shins, your hands around your shins. Give yourself a big, tight squeeze here. Apanasana now. a nice spinal flexion. Take a full breath here, inhale. And then exhale, rock upward into a seated position and extend your legs straight out in front of you. Reach backward towards your sits bones and draw your sits bones toward the back edge of the mat as you move the flesh around your sits bones outward to the sides of the mat. Good. Now you could sit on a block or on a blanket. If you need to sit upright, you want to keep the pelvis lifting and the torso nice and long. So as you inhale now, reach your arms up and overhead in preparation for Paschimottanasana. And then exhale, hinge from your hips. Reach forward through your fingertips. Either grab a hold of the edges of your feet or maybe your toes in Yoga Toe Grip. We're still drawing the tailbone toward the back edge of the mat. And so you're feeling your tailbone and you're feeling the edge of your sacrum pulling toward the back of your mat and tipping slightly backward. Engage your low belly. So that's going to help you to then tip your torso forward. And then we do all these extra engagements here. So start off first by squeezing into your inner thighs and feel as if you're trying to bend your knees in order to engage the hamstrings for a breath in and a breath out. Good. Now we're engaging here for a really nice reciprocal, or for a really nice engaging the Golgi tendon organ. Thank you. Exhale, bend your elbows down toward the floor and begin to fold now. Release that engagement of the knees and press forward through the heels of your feet now. So you get the firm, full stretch all through your hamstrings. This is wonderful. Take a deep breath in, lengthen through the back of your skull and through the crown of your head for another inhale and a long exhale. Press your abdomen toward your thighs. Good. We're going to engage the biceps of the arms now to help you to draw your torso forward. So feel like you're bending your elbows and like you're trying to pull your arms toward the back edge of the mat, your elbows toward the back edge of the mat, and see if that helps you to assist in the muscular contraction. And then inhale, come halfway up. Exhale completely. Come all the way back up through the torso. Good. On your next inhale, bend your knees. Good. Place one ankle over the other. Come into a position in order to plant your hands at the front of the mat. Jump or step back into Chaturanga Dandasana. As you exhale, inhale into Upward Dog or Cobra, and exhale back to Downward Facing Dog. Okay. Take a full breath here. Inhale. And a long breath out, exhale. Beautiful work. On your next inhalation, extend your right leg up to the sky. As you exhale, we're going to bring the right knee forward into Kapotasana, the pigeon pose. Eka, Pada, Raja, Kapotasana. So the right shin comes to the mat, right knee is over toward the right wrist, and the left leg extends straight toward the back of the mat with your right foot over to the left. And so we're lining up the femur bone, this long bone of your right thigh, with the outer edge of the mat. And then look back at your left foot. Make sure the top of your left foot is flat on the floor. And then turn back around, inhale, and lift your pelvis upward. So engage your inner thigh muscles and feel like you're trying to draw your hips toward each other so that you start off with that really nice engagement in the hips so we're not sinking into the joint. And then exhale, start to walk your hands forward. So you can keep that engagement depending on how much flexibility you have in your hips. If you have a ton of flexibility, keep engaging the right shin, like you're trying to pull the right shin toward the back of the mat, and then press down into your left foot as if you're trying to push your left thigh up toward the ceiling at the same time. Now, if you have a lot of stability in your hips and not much flexibility, you can let yourself come into the full release. You could maybe even place a block. I'm just going to show the block placement under Deborah's hips. You could place it underneath the right sits bone in order to stabilize. You want to keep both hips side by side. Continue to press down into your left foot. Take a full breath in here. And then for hip openers, we're going to open the mouth and sigh. Release completely. Take a full breath in. Exhale. Sigh. Good. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale, sigh. Beautiful. On your next inhalation, come all the way back up through your torso. And lean over onto the right hip now. to bring your right leg all the way up and around, so your left leg goes all the way forward, straight out in front of you, and then place your right foot onto the mat for Marichiasana A. You're going to walk the right foot over to the right slightly so that you have a hands width distance between your right foot and your left inner thigh. Left hand on the floor, and as you inhale, reach forward through your right fingertips. Exhale, wrap your right arm around the front of your shin. Bring your right hand behind toward your hip, left hand behind your back. And then we're going to reach for the two hands to clasp together, or the right hand reaches for the left wrist if you're binding hand to wrist, or maybe you get a strap and the hands hold on to the strap. Now as you inhale, press your right tricep into your shin, and exhale, start to press your belly towards your thigh. Good, really nice, everybody. Deep breath in, lengthen through your sternum, press down into your right foot still like you're standing in that right foot. The right sits bone should not be on the floor. Take a full breath in, and exhale, belly towards your left thigh. One more breath in Marichiasana. Now we're in a nice bound position for the chest, or for the arms rather, and an opening for the chest. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, release entirely. Let the hands release. Keep the left leg extended. And now for Crown Chasana, grab a hold of the right, two versions. Grab a hold of the right shin and bring the right ankle and bring the right shin onto the floor with the right foot on the mat. Or alternately, let the right foot drop off to the side, right knee off to the side so that you're in the Janushirasana position. Good. Then bend your left knee, left foot on the floor, clasp your fingers together into a basket. Left hand underneath the left foot. As you inhale, lift your heel up off the mat, come up halfway. And maybe stay here, or exhale, start to straighten the left leg. Good. Now this posture is mimicking the stillness and stability of the heron. So slow your breathing down. Let your gaze be straight forward. Bend your elbows slightly out to the sides. Take a deep breath in. Lift up through your low belly. And then as you exhale, bend your left knee and set the left foot back down onto the floor. Good. From this position now, we'll move into Vajrasana, the twisted posture here. So right knee can stay, right leg can stay where it is if it's tucked off to the side. If it's not already there, then go ahead and kick that foot over to the side. And for this version, you can just let the right foot rest on the floor if that's better for your knee position. And then kick your left foot in so that it's either going to be on the floor inside the pelvis or into half lotus posture with the left foot coming into the right hip crease. Cross your right hand over to your left thigh. Inhale, extend your left arm up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, sweep your left arm behind your back so that you're either reaching all the way around for the foot, as Melissa is doing if you're in half lotus and Deborah is doing, or with your left hand on the mat behind you if you are not in half lotus version. Take a deep breath, lift up through your low belly. This is a really nice open basket twist. Basket of the abdomen stays open, so this is a great posture to do even if you're pregnant. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, unwind out of the pose. Good. Stretch your legs straight forward, out into the posture. Go ahead and release all of that work for a breath here. Good. And then from here, bend both of your knees, bring your feet into the position for Baddha Konasana. So feet come together, knees drop off to the sides. We're going to inhale from here, lift up through your low belly, draw your heels close to your pelvis if that works in your body, and then hold on to the tops of your feet, and as you exhale, start to bend your elbows out to the sides, bring your belly toward your torso, toward your heels. This is another posture where you can exhale and relax your jaw by opening your mouth and sighing. Good. Another nice, really nice engagement here. We can do some reciprocal inhibition. So as you inhale, we will engage the opposite muscle that we're trying to stretch. So as you inhale, feel as if you're trying to lift your inner thighs back up toward the ceiling. Take a deep breath in so that you're really contracting into the outer edges of your hips here. Hold here as you exhale, and then open your mouth and sigh and go back into the release Let go of that contraction and press your abdomen towards your heels. Full breath in. Long, full breath out. Good. And then as you inhale, rise back up. Good. From here, cross your ankles, lift your knees back up toward each other, cross one ankle on top of the other, lean forward, place your hands on the mat again, step or jump back, and you go straight to downward facing dog, or move through the vinyasa if you wish, into downward facing dog. Good. And downward facing dog, take a full breath in, and then first start off by setting your knees down. We're going to move into Supta Virasana. So knees come to the mat, knees together, separate your feet so that they move outward for enough room to come down into a seated position. You may end up, has anybody shown me the modification? No? Yeah, thank you. You may end up placing a block underneath your sits bone, or you may end up coming all the way down to the mat. Now, if you are all the way down on the mat, you may end up lowering all the way onto your back for the reclined version, with this the Supta version. With Deborah staying on the block, she has the block underneath her sits bones. She might lean back, but she's not going to come all the way down. We want to keep the knees and the femur bones pushing forward the whole entire time. So she's leaning back, and then I'm going to assist her with a block, potentially. And if we had a bolster, that might even be enough to have her come all the way down and be able to feel supported. Is that enough support? Okay, all right. And then you can see how the opposite versions, or the non-modified versions, allow for the practitioner to come all the way onto the back. So this is a reclining hero, the resting hero's pose. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Good. And then begin to lift up through your torso, rise back up into an upright position. And lean forward to place your hands onto the floor and come back into downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Stay for a breath here, inhale and exhale. And then Ekapada Raju Hapatasana on side two. So extend your left leg straight up behind you as you inhale. As you exhale, bring that leg forward so that your left knee is toward the left wrist, left foot over to the right side of the mat. Go ahead and extend your right leg straight out behind you. So again, we're lining up the femur bone, that thigh bone, with the outer edge of the mat. We're not too worried about where the shin is. And then look back at your extended right leg to make sure the top of your right foot is on the floor. Turn back to face the front of the mat. Engage through the left shin like you're trying to lift the left shin upward, and your right inner thigh is spinning up toward the ceiling at the same time. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, walk your hands forward so that you're in the reclined version here. Good. So as you inhale, again, now we're thinking about, do we want to engage through the hip muscles so that we don't sink into the joint entirely, or are we coming into a posture where we're letting go, maybe even supporting the posture with a block? You can release through the low back. This is a really nice stretch often for the piriformis, which is a muscle that can get pretty tight and pull on the sacrum and end up causing some low back problems. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Good. On your next inhalation, walk your hands back in towards your leg, lift up through the torso, and then exhale, lean over onto your left hip to sweep your right leg all the way around to the front of the mat. Now extend your right leg straight out in front of you for Marichyasana A. I'm going to place the left foot on the floor first and have the left knee facing toward the ceiling. Make sure you have at least a hand's width distance between the left foot and the right thigh. As you inhale, right hand onto the floor. Inhale, left arm up to the ceiling. We're moving into the bind. Lean forward, reach as far forward as you can go. You could stay in a modified version where you hold on to your front foot, or wrap your left arm around the front of your left shin, right hand behind your back. We can reach for the bind, so left hand would reach for the right wrist, or fingers hold on to each other, or we grab a strap and find the modified version. So the back of the skull stays really long. We're extending forward through the sternum. Press down into your left foot, again, like you're standing in it. Lengthen through the chest. One more breath.